I want to know what the turning point was for when men stopped standing up for women or just anyone in society and became weak and afraid to be a masculine man and stand up for the people, you know? I watched a video the other day of a woman who was on a tram and was being abused and stood over by this man. And he was drunk and, you know, he was intimidating other people. And she looked around and said that the tram was full of men that just sat there and did nothing. And I don't know whether or not I'm more angry about the dude who was abusing the woman or the men that were too much of pussies, cowards, to do anything, afraid to get hurt, afraid to stand up for their fellow person. I was baffled when I saw this. Like, what happened to our fellow man? You know, when did we stop being masculine? When did men become such pussies? You know, it's crazy to me that someone can sit there and watch this happen in front of them and think, oh no, I'm just going to let this guy abuse this woman and potentially, you know, he was drinking a big bottle of wine, like, you know, potentially bottle her or do anything and just wait for it to get cataclysmic before I act, if they would even act, if it did get to that stage, you know? It's crazy to me. I just cannot believe that people wouldn't act, especially men, you know? We're supposed to be the protectors of society, and these pussies just are too afraid to act, too afraid to stand up. It's a shame because, you know, recently, for the past like maybe 5 years, it's sort of been, you know, a bad thing to be a masculine man. But it's funny, the first thing that was brought up when I saw this video was I saw all these men sitting there and doing nothing. And it's kind of funny because in that moment, all they wanted was men. They wanted the men to stand up because that's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to stand up. And yeah, it's heartbreaking to see that stuff. You know, we're designed to be the protectors. And when we deny that very existence because we're cowards, it's just pathetic, sad, weak, pussy. It's disgusting. And like I said, I don't know if I'm more annoyed at the fact that there was a guy that was able to do this or if no one stood up for him. You know? Yeah. What a shame. It's a shame because the world I want to raise my children in is if I had a son and he saw this happening, he would act, he would get up, he would intervene, and he would have the courage to stand up and not be concerned about if he's going to be injured, but more or less he's protecting the woman. You know? It's just baffling to me. And it's been eating at me for the past couple of days since I heard it. Because, yeah, I just didn't think I'd ever exist in a world where men would be so weak, you know? And you look everywhere, you know, you walk down the streets and men are just weak. You look at them, 90% of them just don't look like they'd know what to do in a situation where if things got bad, they just crumble, you know? They look like they just cease to exist. It's a crisis. And I'd love to know what we're going to be doing about it as the masculine men of the generation, because there's very few of us that still exist. Very few of us that are not afraid to stand up, not afraid to, you know, hold ourselves accountable, to help when it's necessary, to put ourselves in danger, do those kinds of things. So let's see where we're at in 2030, 6 years' time. where we're at, where the men are at, and what the world thinks of men in 2036, or if the world's fallen apart. Be interesting to see.